position myself since I'm the one who's recording and starring. My name is Natai, and I've been wanting to do this video series for a very, very long time, so I'm very excited to actually go ahead and start with the first episode, if you will, of a video series. I haven't even named it yet, but I just wanted to get it over with, get started, because I feel like that's all the roadblocks are, is just, oh, we have to think of a name first, you have to find a website first, you have to start a blog first, you have to do this first to save up. And then after a while you just realize the video's not even done, nothing's done. You just, next you know, it's a year and you still didn't even start it yet. So you know what, forget it, let's just move forward. If you hear any noise in the background, that's my sister who I asked to be quiet, but she does her own thing. Don't laugh either. You're so rude. Anyway, so yeah, my name is Natai, and this series, I think I just want to talk about whatever I want to talk about. You know, I see the culture and I feel like I just can't be that quiet about it anymore. I really want to be a participant. And I guess I just wanted to do this because I brought up a Facebook post today. And I can just read it from what I had said. But to get a little background while it's loading, I had just recently listened to Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp A Butterfly last night. Let me tell you, let me just segue for a second. That album is life-giving. It's inspirational. It is like a religious service, especially when he goes on to All Right, okay? Like, I'm gonna briefly go down this list, actually. Let me just segue and I'll bring it all in full circle. Hold on one second, because I have to give it up to that album first and foremost. I was wondering what I was even going to talk about. This is perfect. Anyway, so the album is To Pimp A Butterfly. Let's talk about that title. Yes, God. To Pimp A Butterfly is beautiful. That artwork, the group of all them niggas in front of the White House sitting on top of that judge, I was just like, yes, that came out, and I just was like, where's the music? Like, I was so mad they put that out before the whole album was out because I was so ready. But, you know, I go on Facebook and initially I heard that people were saying he couldn't live up to Good Kid, Mad City. So I'm just like, oh, that's messed up. But then people were saying, oh, people love to be haters, and the album was fire. And I just, you know, I was like, look, when the weekend comes, I'm sitting my ass down and I'm going to find out for myself. Fast forward to Saturday night. I'm sitting in my bed and, you know, I don't know, I didn't have any expectations. Just put it on. And he started with freaking, what's his name? George Clinton. And all I hear is funk music. And that's just an hour's worth of you just jamming and getting your life and wanting to make picket signs. It was just everything. My favorite songs on that album, personally, I loved King Kunta. That beat is fire. The title, everything, like King Kunta. I loved All Right. All Right was just, that was the time, make a picket and just not even, just joy dance. Just joy dance and love yourself and you gonna be alright. You gonna be alright. And he was just so sure about it. And I just was like, I am, damn it. Because I worry about my future and I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna be alright. I got dreams for a reason. My other favorite song, I loved These Walls. Shout out to Bilal for tapping on Bilal. Like, he gave you early 2000s hip-hop and R&B realness. Like, he was giving you Outkast, he was giving you Sunshine Anderson, he was going just every which way. I was totally in love with it, and he made it his own. There's funk influences. It's just like, I really felt like I was listening to a rapper my age. I'm 24, I think he's 25 or 26, but it's like, you can tell he grew up with the funk, like how our parents grew up with the 80s funk. He gave us the 80s funk to, listen to, and that's your childhood. Lisa, Yarborough and the Peoples, giving you all of those influences. And then on top of that, he brings you out into the 90s with Tupac, his interview with Tupac. Did that not make you want to just begin the revolution? Anyway, and then, to bring in those early 2000s, like, people really, that's kind of an ignored decade right now just because it was so recent, but for him to really bring that influence in is like, wow, there was music at that time period. It really reminded, I was listening to a bunch of, like, early Maxwell right after that. And then The Blacker the Berry, that was a beautiful song. But the funny thing about what made this album enchanting to me was the Kendrick Lamar's first single, I didn't even really like it when I heard it on the radio. I thought it was okay. I thought it was good. I thought he had a great message behind it, but I didn't really, I didn't love it. But then I'm listening to it straight through, and then I didn't even realize I heard the background music, but then it sounded totally different. It's a totally different version because it sounds live. It sounds like they're marching on Washington, and you hear all these horns and people screaming through these horns and demanding change, and then he ends it in like, fuck this, the revolution needs to begin now. Like, we tired of asking. And it's just like, that is it right there. That is really it right there. So, like, the activist in me was being just preached to. So all of this is coming alive, and on top of that, it's just this, he touches on depression so well, the way he uses string instruments to really give you that feel of depression. And I thought it was so well done. It was well done. I feel so lucky to have a rapper like Kendrick Lamar in my generation, because everybody else, I don't know what y'all are doing. But y'all need to get like Kendrick, please. Because that album was everything. To Pimp a Butterfly, everything. So, I'm getting my life to that Saturday night. And I'm high off of it. I was ready to marry Kendrick. And then that night, I see the Shade Room post a picture of Kendrick and his so-called, maybe, I don't know. People are also saying it's gossip, and people saying it's been confirmed. I don't know, but apparently it's his girlfriend of 10 years. So I look at her and I'm just like, I just listened to this influential, innovative, progressive, pro-black album, and I'm thinking, like, if he was to ever have a girlfriend, it'd be a black woman. I mean, it's just what it comes off as. So, to see this racially ambiguous woman, I just felt like crushed, and I didn't know why. So I slept on it. And then, like, the next day I saw the picture again, thanks to my sister, you giving me a shout out on Instagram. And I just was like, oh yeah, I'm still feeling a ways about it, but I think I know why. So I was very, very reluctant to even talk about this issue because it's a very touchy issue. And, people tend to think that black women are bitter by talking about this subject. But I'm going to read what I post on my Facebook page. I pretty much said, and I quote, I was going off at how live To Pimp a Butterfly was last night. I found it revolutionary, progressive, and pro-black. And then I see this, and it reminded me of what my issues with black men are. I feel like they promote black power, but only from the perspective of men. I love that he was fed up with institutional racism and was ready for war, because as a black person, that is how I feel. Enough is really enough. I'm done talking. I'm ready for blood. But then I see this in regards to the picture, and feel as if black women aren't included. All of these rappers, all of these celebrities with significant influence, even the ones with the gall to discuss the black plight, all I see is them with racially ambiguous women. Kendrick, Kanye, John Legend, Russell Simmons, Big Sean, Chris Brown, Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, Diddy, Terrence Howard. I could go on for some time. I'm a black woman who feels excluded and invisible and unwanted, judging by the actions of influential black men. When Common won his Oscar, he called out the prison industrial complex for the sake of black men, but left out black women on a world stage. I don't see how we can move forward when the black men we look up to desire anyone but their own. I used to think this was a small-minded issue some bitter black women fresh out of a Spike Lee joint conjured up. But every day I see pictures of like this and I wonder, am I included in the revolution, black men? Ironically, I'm currently reading Ralph Ellison's Invisible Man and feel like the main character. I'm an invisible woman because black men refuse to see me. So it sparked the debate, and the debate went off rather quickly. But I had one friend, a black woman also, who immediately agreed. And I had two friends who, applauded me. I had some friends who applauded me for being honest, because it's a very delicate subject. And then, of course, I had, some guys who just really wanted to just be the counter conversation and refute everything that I was saying, and it just got pretty heated. And I mean, if you agree with me, you agree with me. If you don't, you don't. But it just opened my eyes to the situation. It just feels like it's a conversation within the black community that people are very afraid to discuss because it gets so heated. I mean, to talk about race relations is one thing from, black people versus white people, but it's relatively easy. It's relatively easy to point the blame with white people because essentially they don't have any struggle to throw back at us that we did to them. So we always get to be like, you did this, 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 and the list can go on. And be like, what are you going to do to make these things change? Because we have every right to equality. We really do. But when you talk about it from within the community, when you talk about it from the perspective of a black woman, it becomes black woman versus black man. It becomes who struggled the most, because everybody wants to point the fingers at each other. And it should really just be a conversation in terms of like, just listen to what we're saying. That's all we want you to do. And it's what you ask of your white counterparts. Yet you don't give black women the same respect. I just think that black men need to sit down and just listen to what we have to say without calling us bitter or angry. Because issues of racism and sexism and colorism all fall on the shoulders of black women. We have very unique issues that black men cannot relate to because they get a black male privilege. They get the privilege of being a man. We don't get the privileges of men. So we have very unique situations that happen to us that happen only because we're women on top of being black. And then if you don't contain, the complexion or the look, the standard of beauty, then you're even more so disenfranchised a bit. So just a conversation that I really wanted to open up, and it happened quickly, and I was very intrigued, and it's something that I really do want to delve into some more. Right now I'm a novice, but it's a hotbed. I see it's a hotbed, and we need to turn it over on its belly and discuss it and fix it before we go out for the revolution or the second civil rights movement, where it's like we need to tackle institutional racism. But I feel like the only way we can get to that magnitude is if we understand equality within our own community. So I applaud to Pimp a Butterfly though. But yeah. So I think that I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna wrap it up with that. Sorry to fall off a little bit on the end there, but yeah, I think this is a good place to wrap up. So again, my name is Natai. It's gonna be the first video of a couple. We'll see where this takes me. If this blows up, I apologize in advance if I look a certain way. You know, you'd be like, your first video was like, oh my god, my first video looked crazy. So sorry in advance, but at least we got it started, right? Alright, thanks. Bye.